for me on New Year's Day in New Orleans, covering the UGA football in the Sugar Bowl. But it was not without incident because my laptop died on that day. I had no laptop. Apple stores were closed. I didn't know what I was going to do. And so my coworkers, Ryan and Tyson, volunteered to drive down and deliver a new laptop. So I'd have that for covering the game. I should have known at that time that it was an omen. One of my assignments was to photograph a Georgia Tech professor that runs mathematical models on epidemics and pandemics. And she was showing me some things that predicted what would happen. And at that point, Italy was burning out of control. Here, there was a few cases. And she was showing me graphs projecting that, if we don't close schools, if we don't close businesses, we could have 30,000 people dead in a few months. So that got me thinking about what's happening in the pandemic, and I'm thinking, wow, 30,000 dead. That's terrible. And of course, now we're at 10 times that. The last thing I covered at the legislature was Kemp's meeting of his coronavirus task force, and then after that, everything shut down. I was fortunate in that we needed editing help just because of all the number of assignments and all the news that was happening. So I switched hats. I should have a hat here to switch to the editing hat, where I moved to editing for the rest of the year. Have the protests happening. That took a lot of coordination between hiring freelancers or staff photographers. We had multiple protests happening throughout the city at all times of night. We were working until 1 and 2 in the morning, moving people around, trying to figure out where they had to be, figure out how to get pictures in, worked on some transmission techniques so that we could move pictures right from our cameras and get them into ajc.com in almost real time. And we then continued to use that process in covering sports. The sports world changed, where we couldn't have editors on site anymore, couldn't have editors at the Masters. So Curtis, who covered that, was sending us camera pictures direct to us, and we would edit them and put it in. So the editing process took on a big role for that. Did the same thing for the John Lewis funeral. We were one of the pool photographers for his funeral, and we had multiple agencies wanting pictures for that. So we had a process where Alyssa, who covered it, was sending the pictures from her camera. I'd have to edit, tone, crop, distribute it to multiple wire services all over the world. And again, we're able to do that, getting pictures out almost in real time. So it's not as glamorous as being out on the street, but it's important to the process.